Hello once again, Yoshi players out there, Yoshi Player here, and welcome to a brand new Top 10 video. As most of you know, I love Dig Figures, and it's really inspired me to make animation. Heck, it even inspired me to make Styx episodes. Watching Dig Figures is always a blast, and I love watching it. But since it was so hard to pick the right episodes to be my favorite, I decided to also list my least favorites as well, because as great as Dig Figures is, it can still have some bad episodes out there. Now, I didn't say this in my last top 10 video, but please keep in mind that this is just my opinion. If you like any of the episodes that I don't like, that's fine, I'm not going to make fun of you. So with that out of the way, let's begin, but first, here's a few honorable mentions.
No, stop it! You can't just make stuff up!
Yeah, and they're like covered in candy and like Jamie Lannister's hair. Totally!
Definitely!
Pew pew pew!
Dodge modes turn on! I think they're fucking hacking!
Get a chainsaw! Good idea! No, for the zombies, you retard!
This episode is one that just has the right amount of great comedy. I love how Red just immediately loses to Blue's bet and is forced to do all of his chores in the most hardcore way possible. That's what I really like. The characters were used just right, and are very true to their personality. Red was always the crazy ass guy doing these things in stupid but funny ways, and Red was really funny here and was used right. Even Blue had some hilarious moments in this episode, like masturbating to the Game of Thrones or searching up cat gifs. It's very true to his personality. The ending was also great too. It wasn't the best, but I think it just felt just right. I really love this episode. I know technically this is now a scene from Dig Figures the movie, but at the time when it was just an episode, it was a great episode. When I found this was actually part of the Dig Figures movie at the end, I was completely blown away by the surprise. Much to the film's advantage, this episode's a lot of fun. The characters are very true to their personality. You do like seeing how they grow up throughout the years. It's funny. The animation for what it is really great. And that fight scene? Dude, that fight scene was one of the best fight scenes ever. The pacing, the timing, the action, it really helped make this episode as funny and as heartwarming as it is. This episode literally made my brain explode. While watching it, I seriously was very confused with what was happening. Like, why was Stacy dating Blue? Why was Raccoon living in the apartment? How did all of this work? Well, it turns out this was a prequel to the very first episode. That's what really sticks out about this episode. It will blow your mind, and it's very surprising. Hell, this could be your first Dig Figures episode if you're lucky. This episode does stay true to the Dig Figures formula, and does a lot of great effort into it. It's definitely one of my favorites. How could a deal like gender bending work its way into the Dig Figures world? Well, you get chick figures. To be honest with you, when I was looking forward to this, I actually expected the characters to have the same voice actors trying to do a gender bent voice. But I guess I was wrong. Yeah, I actually did feel pretty silly about that. Chick figures introduce some new characters, a cute story, and some funny moments. And what I like is that if even females like Lavender and Scarlet can even screw up as much as men can. Watching this reminds me of a lot of female comedy shows, which makes this all the more enjoyable. It's funny, it's got a lot of great effort into it, and I think it's be one I'm gonna keep watching a lot of times. Talk about having an episode that just has the best comedy. The best way to use these characters and makes it my favorite episode of all time. When watching this, I really appreciated how it explains the stories of these characters, and all stay very true to their personality. I like how each character has a different animation style, and each has their own style of interest. Blue was always the nerd, so it makes sense for him to be in the video games. Red's always the party house guy, and fits the story in perfectly. And Lord Tourette's story is definitely the star of this episode, and had me pissing my pants all the way through. I love this episode, and it's still my favorite. But like I said before, as great as Dig Figures can be, there are still some bad episodes. But first off, let's go through some dishonorable mentions.
To reproduce, we kick each other in the stomach, like this. Oh, you're pregnant!
You are pregnant.
House party!
What?
Dude, I'm doing the Freshman 15 challenge. Voting 15 freshman chicks in one night.
Whoa! Like a decent
I need a barf bag! I wonder what this does!
If you've watched Dick Figures from season 1 to 4, then this episode is going to bore you. The plot here is Red decides to teach Blue how to bone women, and that's it. The rest of the episode is just Red teaching you how to make with women. What I really hate here is the puns made can get very old very fast, especially when you've heard it so many times. Despite that being said though, I actually did think the scene with Blue and Pink was actually very fucking funny.
Pink, I love you!
Blue, what is your problem?
The bullet in my body.
But aside from that, the episode's a big bore for me, especially when seeing the same type of jokes over and over again. It's like it really didn't have any effort. There's only one word to describe how bad this episode is: annoying. The episode focuses on Batman, yeah, isn't that original, and the Blues are once again stopping Earl Grey from taking over the world. First off, unlike most people, I actually thought Blue's superhero name is far better than Red's, since it actually has some sort of originality to it. Red's superhero form is an obvious copy of Batman and really annoys me. But here's what's more annoying in this episode. Puns! Nothing but puns! Some of them get a laugh, but some are either really bad or get very annoying, and that's enough to just kill this episode. Like I said, sometimes it can get me a laugh, but the puns... ugh! If there weren't so many puns, this wouldn't be so bad. Hate! How bad can Dick Figures get? This bad. First off, I like the introduction to Ocho Muerte. It's fast, it's got action, and looks interesting. The rest of the episode though can suck it, because the jokes here just fall flat because of how obvious they are. In fact, I don't even find anything funny just because the jokes felt forced and not developed very well. Heck, I don't even think if that really many that jokes in this episode to begin with. The ending though, I actually thought was rushed and very mean-spirited, and especially coming from Red, the big dick bag of the series. So yeah, the Ocho Muerte character is good, but the episode can go suck it. How can I describe this episode? Well, it can be an episode that throws so many mean-spirited and some of the dumbest jokes you'll ever hear. First off, there isn't really that many jokes to begin with. It's just Red trying to find this woman so he can kill her or something, I don't know. Yeah, as expected, it's just another Terminator ripoff. And without the charm of Dick Figures here, it falls flat as a parody. One thing I really hate in this episode is some of the mean-spirited behavior, and all of this happens towards Blue. I mean, I don't blame him for not liking Pink's costume, and even if I was told that they didn't like my costume, would I cause all this pain for Blue to begin with? And the ending felt like a giant punch in the face. Blue, finally getting something good in his life, thrown out for Red's stupid and drunk behavior. I guess you could argue that Red was trying to save Blue's life, but the rest of the episode just felt flat, and to be honest, I still do really feel sorry for Blue here. And this episode gets old very fast, as Dick Figures would probably be nowadays. Out of every Dick Figures episode, this one can go suck my dick. Okay, so what do I like about it? Well, I do like the opening. Much like the Red Planet's good opening, it does bring some good charm to it. While watching this, I was expecting it to be a nice, calm, and funny episode with shrinking goodness and a lot of funny jokes. But instead, we get a bland, stupid, and just predictable episode you'll ever see. And that especially goes to the worst part about the episode, the ending. What's the catch? The ants believe that Blue is the Blue Titan, who is responsible for cleaning his room while killing the ants in the process. So the ants decide to seize Blue, and what does Red do? Instead of being the supportive friend he learned about in Dick Figures the movie, he sentences Blue to death, shrinks him, and eats him. Wow! So much for learning to be a great friend in the movie! In fact, he was still an asshole in the movie to begin with! Could people even remember that before Red was stomping on the ants, which for some reason is worse than cleaning someone's room up? Are the ants really that dumb to remember that Red stomped on the ants? He was right there, in front of their own eyes! And that's what really pisses me off. Red is just such an unlikable bastard here, and you'll really despise him for what he does, even if you are a fan of him. And in the end, Blue has to deal with all of these problems, even though he never meant to do it, and Red gets rewarded in the end, and never has to deal with any problems at all, even if he did it on purpose. Not only is this as predictable as it looks, but it makes no sense whatsoever, gets old very fast, and once again, you'll really despise Red for his disgusting behavior in this episode. This episode can go suck my dick. Well, now you know what my favorite and least favorites episodes are. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.